All right. This is a group of EKU paramedic students, and we all work as EMTs. Here on my left, I have Brooke, then I have Mandy, Tyler, Zach, and PJ. I'm gonna ask each of them the questions required for the video, and we will listen to what they have to say. All right, so we're gonna start with the first question, and that's gonna be for Mandy. Let's talk about something that our agency is doing this year that's new.
So we're going to implement this new pediatric hand therapy. It's more like, it's best for us because we don't have very many pediatric patients, and it divides everything into like the right dosages for certain age ranges and stuff, so it makes it easier because you don't have a lot of pediatric patients. It also comes with an app where you can put in your dosages, like the exact time that you put them in and all that stuff to help kind of stay organized when those situations are a little bit hectic anyway. So.
Yeah, I think that actually is really awesome. All right, Zach, what's another new thing this year?
So also by the end of the year, we hope to get a drug-assisted intubation protocol, because we come into a lot of respiratory patients who need to be intubated, but they still have a gag reflex. So hopefully we'll be getting ketamine and a couple other, like probably some benzos to sedate our patients and have our medical director sign off on the protocol. We can hopefully provide them the best care we can with drug-assisted intubation.
Yeah, that would be awesome too. Super progressive. All right, now we're going to move on to our second question, and this is going to be asked to Tyler. What is something within our agency that you see happening in 3 years?
Well, with Kentucky's recent changes to who is considered ALS providers, advanced EMTs have gotten a lot more leeway now that they're considered as such. And so in the next 3 years, we're probably going to be looking at increasing the drugs available to them for administration. So we'll be looking at drugs like ketamine, nitrous oxide, ondansetron, maybe farther down the road some cardiac level drugs. We're also looking at implementing maybe a new station to improve patient area to ambulance ratios. That way we can get to calls quicker and reduce on-scene time and patient care time overall. That's
really great, actually. All right, how about one more from Zach?
So in the next few years, we were hoping to get pre-hospital ultrasound. I know like right now a bunch of us in class now with the Butterfly IQ. It helps a lot when we have trauma patients. We can do a fast exam, and that really helps determine whether they need to go to a level 1 trauma center, whether your local hospital can provide the care they need, or if on a cardiac arrest, whether they actually have any cardiac activity, or if they're actually a DOA or something like that. There's lots of other uses like doing ultrasound guided IVs and stuff like that we can use it for everyday use. But those are like some of the main things we've learned so far, and it'll be a really cool thing to have in a couple of years. It will be the standard of care, I think.
Yeah, I think so. That's awesome. All right, and now we're going to address our final question, and it's going to be for Brooke. What is one thing within our agency that's going to be happening within 5 years?
So hopefully within 5 years we will be seeing whole blood being carried on our trucks. Right now, flight crews are the only ones carrying it, but in rural areas it's harder to treat your patients with light-chain ringers, which is a choice of fluid resuscitation. It doesn't carry oxygen, and long transport times can have paramedics maybe just pumping patients full of fluids and then end up losing more blood and having a worse outcome.
All right, and let's go ahead and ask Tyler the same question. What is something you see within our agency that's going to be happening in 5 years?
So in 5 years, we look to be adding a community paramedic program, which should be assisting the community in efforts like elderly patients who need a little bit more of a medical helping hand at home, but they can't necessarily see a physician. So we look to be adding that and also be using paramedic chase vehicles. So in our agency, we do have a lot of BLS only trucks, and so paramedics not actually on the truck, it's just EMTs. And so we also hope to be using this community paramedic when they're not doing community related things to be a chase vehicle for the BLS crews, so that they can have a ALS provider on scene as well if needed.
All right, very good point. Well, thank you guys so much for your time and your answers.
Thank you.
All right, and now I'm sitting here with our executive director, Dr. Bill Young, and he is going to give us some answers on the similar questions asked with the students. So, Dr. Bill, what do you see within our agency that's going on, currently and within the future?
I think right now what we're seeing, particularly within EMS, is the determination of whether degrees are going to be valuable for paramedics or not. I'm very heartened by the number of people that I see who already have degrees, either associates or higher, within EMS that are working as paramedics. And I believe that's going to be probably one of the biggest issues. That by itself is not going to change everything that's wrong with EMS, but will definitely be a huge step in the right direction towards raising the esteem that EMS should already enjoy, and bringing in a company pay raise as it begins to be recognized more so by Medicare than just a transport agency.
Okay. I really like that. Actually, I haven't heard that one yet. How do you think, what kind of obstacles or challenges do you think that the industry will encounter with saying, especially with like the older generations, pay goes up and they don't have those degrees?
I think the biggest problem that EMS faces is people of my generation, and that's really sad because I can remember back when I started EMS back in the 1970s, we had people that just simply said, you need to throw them on the stretcher and drive real fast to the hospital, that we weren't doctors. And there were a group of people all across the country of my age and my generation that said, no, we can do better than this. And we had to fight to really turn that thinking around to where EMS now today is expected to begin providing care. The problem today, particularly in the area of degrees, is that when I started, you didn't need a degree. Today, I do believe that you do need one because medicine is so much more complex. The problem is the people who are making the decisions are people of my generation. So one of the things that I would say is that for people that are younger, just kind of hold on, because my generation's getting ready to die out, go the way of the dinosaur. And when that happens, I believe that your generation, as well as other generations that are coming up behind us, will be able to really move EMS to where it needs to be.
Yeah, I actually agree. That's really important. So let me just ask you one more thing. How do you see, do you think funding will have a harder, do you think it'll be harder to obtain like it is now for a lot of agencies in terms of compensation with these new generations coming out with these 4-year degrees?
I think actually funding will be easier to get. One of the things that we're seeing right now is that people get into a certain mindset of saying, well, this is the way that we've always done it. We can't do anything else about it. And I see that within EMS right now. With the implementation of the community paramedicine, that's a great program, and I support that 100%. But that's not sustainable unless we find a way to fund it. I think what's going to happen is as people come out and they are better educated, they're able to look at the multiple sides of an issue and not just a black and white, but varying shades of gray. I believe those of you that are educated to critically think will be able to come up and to develop ways of funding and find methods of funding that exist right now, but unfortunately because we're so wedded to I'm going to do it my way, this is the way I've done it for the last 30 or 40 years, that I'm not going to change, that we refuse to even look. And I think Medicare is going to be really a pusher on that, especially with this new ET3 initiative where they're beginning to pay for care rendered and leave the patient at home when it's appropriate. What worries me about that is that it can be abused by people who do not have good assessment skills, who can't critically think. So I believe we're already headed in that direction. So I believe funding will come with it.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and your input.
All right. Thanks, Jamie.
All right. Well, in conclusion, I just want to say that everyone had really good, strong talking points for what our agency is currently doing and excelling at, what we are looking for in 3 years, and what we will be exceeding expectations with in 5. I am definitely a really strong advocate for community paramedicine. I think it has so many great benefits for the industry and for paramedics, new and older generations. I think it could do really, really good things. And as for, the butterfly IQ ultrasound, like that is something so easily obtainable and yet so important to implement within protocols to rule out severe internal bleeding, to find those IVs that are detrimental for patients who need drugs quickly, and rather than doing a super invasive IO. Really, really good. Just, I was really impressed with all the talking points, and I'm really glad to be working next to my fellow EMTs. So this was a really great experience, and I want to apologize for going over on my video time. Thank you.